Every lantern holds a story. Tonight, one will shine. In every village, there's always something people stop seeing, simply because it's always been there. Nobody avoided the chair. Nobody touched it. But one old man bowed to something beside it. When I looked, the chair was empty, but every photograph insisted someone was already sitting there. Maybe the first photo was wrong, so I used every camera I had. Every video showed an empty chair, only one photograph refused to change. I thought she was watching the empty chair. Years later, I realized she was watching me.
You're counting the wrong thing.
An hour earlier, I had found only one chair. Now, the whole village was full of them. She prepared dinner for someone who wasn't there. I wanted a simple answer. She answered as if I had asked the wrong question.
They never leave.
I kept recording, hoping one mistake would explain everything, but the village refused to make one. Every chair was empty, but one photograph remembered, a shadow that never existed. I replayed the footage, frame by frame. Nothing moved, yet somehow everything had turned. I thought I was following the chairs. Then I realized they had never moved. Only everyone else had. Every photograph proved the same thing. The village changed. The chairs never did. I stopped counting chairs and started mapping them. That's when I discovered they weren't scattered. They were waiting. I thought people were choosing where to sit, but nobody ever looked for a chair. They walked straight to it. I moved one chair to prove it meant nothing, but the old man never searched for it. He simply found it again. By midnight, every path led to only one chair. Not a single person had ever chosen twice. New visitors arrived, smiling, laughing, completely unaware. Someone had already been waiting. I waited for something impossible, but nothing happened. For the first time, the rule I believed was completely wrong. Then I understood. The chair never takes people. It keeps something else. Something no one ever thinks to count. After 2 days, I stopped looking for answers. Some places simply refuse to be understood. Everything worked. The engine, the GPS, even the road. Nothing was wrong. 30 minutes later, I finally relaxed until I saw the same sign again. I turned around, expecting to prove her wrong. Instead, I lost the only place I could remember. She asked where I had come from. I pointed behind me. She whispered, "There's never been a village there." I needed proof that the village was real, so I searched for the only thing maps never forget. Every road had a name. Every village had a place, except the one I remembered. Paper maps were wrong. Digital maps were wrong. Yet my photographs refused to disappear. That's when I noticed something far worse. I had hundreds of photographs, but not one proved I had ever been there. Every photograph remembered the moment, the camera, the lens, even the weather. Only one thing was missing. The technician checked everything. He found no missing files, no damaged memory, no explanation. Cloud backups never change photographs, yet every copy agreed on one impossible detail. I was never there. Every document proved I was real. Every photograph insisted I wasn't. For the first time, I didn't know which one to believe. Nothing had moved overnight, except something that had no reason to be there. The paper looked older than everything I had seen, yet one sentence had only just been written. I searched for someone who could read it. Instead, I found someone who refused. Just before I left, he said the only sentence that truly frightened me. I wasn't going back. I bought the first ticket, leaving the mountains. Whatever happened would end here. Every kilometer took me farther away. For the first time, I believed it was finally over. The driver said we'd wait until the road reopened. It sounded completely routine. I had left the village behind, but somehow she had arrived. Before I did, I promised myself I would never sit in that chair. Sometimes surviving means walking away. I left without looking back. I thought the story had finally ended. Then I saw him again. The old man was already on the bus. He never explained what the chairs were. He only left me one sentence I still cannot forget. When I looked again, the old man was gone. No one remembered seeing him board. Morning came. Someone now occupied the empty seat. No one questioned where she came from. She returned as though we had never been apart.
Did you forget something?
No, I don't think so. That's when I stopped seeing empty chairs. I only saw unfinished choices. I stopped asking where the village was. Instead, I asked whether I had ever truly been there. The chair had never followed me. It had always been waiting somewhere else. Then she asked a question that wasn't meant for anyone else.
Why won't he come back?
I ran toward her, but someone had already answered without speaking. Everyone else had already left. Only two of us stayed behind, me and the chair. I finally asked the question I should have asked from the beginning. Why do I keep seeing the chair? She answered, as though the truth had always been painfully simple.
Because it isn't waiting for everyone. It's waiting for you.
I never sat down. I never walked away. Sometimes the hardest choice is the one that never ends.